Dear Derry, welcome to Motivational Monday. So, for those of you who don't know what Motivational Monday is, it is the day that I Dr. Pepper. Diet Dr. Pepper. It is the... I really should have made all these adjustments before I started recording, but no edits. Motivational Monday is the day that I try to come up with something motivational, inspirational, something to spur people into betternessismiosity, maliciousness. Just to do a little bit to help. You know, it's kind of like that movie, Pay It Forward, with the kid from The Sixth Sense. I keep wanting to say Macaulay Culkin. It was not Macaulay Culkin at all. It was Haley Joel Osment. That's what it was. Basically, he does a favor for 3 people. And the only payment that he requires is that they do a favor for 3 people as well. And they pay it forward and pay it forward and pay it forward. Hence the title of the film. It's kind of what I'm trying to do with this. I'm not looking to, reap any kind of mountains of love and gold and adoration and Adderall or morphine or anything like that, because I don't care. But what I want is for, just to help people, and then for those people to help other people, and just, pay it forward. Blech. So I was thinking last week while I was in Houston, I was thinking about a time when I was back in, you may or may not have heard the train whistle, back when I was in middle school, in like the 6th grade, I think. I was probably about 13, maybe 14 years old. Maybe, no, probably closer to 12, 11 or 12. Anyway, they brought in this vocational test group that basically they had all these different, manual tests to find out what you would be really good at. What kind of jobs would you be especially suited for? One of the tests was 10 different levels of sandpaper. And you had to arrange them. They were on like little discs, and you could feel how smooth or how rough they were. And you had to organize them from smoothest to roughest or whichever, in order. And it was to determine how sensitive, how well developed is your sense of touch. And maybe you'd be really good in this particular type of job. I don't know what it was for, but I got them all nice and neat in order, except for the middle 2, which I got reversed. But my favorite thing, and of all the tests I took, my favorite one was they gave me an erector set, which, if you don't remember what an erector set is, or you don't know what an erector set is, go and look it up. Erector set. Basically, it's all these, kind of low-grade metal struts and spars and bolts and nuts and screws. Well, no, there weren't any screws, but nuts and bolts. And these metal, things. And you could build stuff with them. And the more complicated erector sets included little electric motors so that you could build moving parts and all this stuff. Anyway, they gave me a cube, a simple cube built out of erector set parts. And then they gave me all the parts that I needed to build the cube. And they said, okay, build this cube. And so I sat there and I looked at the cube and, turned it over my hands a couple of times. And then I grabbed all the various pieces and parts and I started assembling, the cube just like this one. And when I finished it, I took it over to her. I handed it to the lady and she looked at it and she kept turning it over in her hands and looking at the reference model. And she's like, I don't want to say it's wrong, because it's not wrong. It's just not quite right, if that makes any sense. And I was like, I'm not sure what is incorrect about it. She's like, I can't figure it out yet. I'm still working on that. I know it's not the way it's supposed to be. And then it occurred to her when she looked at it. I had built it as an exact mirror to the other one. So if this one was, laid this over this, I mirrored it the other direction. And she said, that's what it is. You built a perfect mirror of it. It's exactly the same thing. It's just backwards from this one. And I was like, oh, I guess that's kind of cool in a way. She said, it's very cool. It's just, I've never seen that happen before. And I was like, well, I'm so happy to have. Is that bad? And she's like, no, it's not bad at all. It's just, really interesting. And so I think that's what I wanted to tell you guys today is, as I have it written down here, don't be afraid to be weird. Don't be afraid to do things in an original, way. Was it? It was Neil Gaiman. I keep waffling between Gaiman and Gaiman. I think it's Gaiman. Anyway, he once typoed, and if you watch, he did a keynote speech at a college. He did a commencement speech, and if you watch that, he mentions at one point where he typoed. He meant to type the name Caroline, but he transposed the A and the O, and it became Coraline, and that's where he got the name for the little thing. And this is it's these kinds of simple mistakes, and they're not even mistakes. They're just serendipity. A happy accident is not a mistake. It's an accident. But a mistake is something that you don't want. It's an undesirable outcome. But serendipity, a happy accident, that's you're digging for worms because your family's starving and you're trying to go fishing and you strike gold. That's it's not a mistake. It's a happy accident. So don't be afraid to be weird. Don't be afraid to think literally outside the cube or a mirror of the cube, because it could lead to some interesting stuff. I don't really know what the cube mirror, how did that lead to voice acting? I don't know. How did that lead to me working in QA for video games for 10 years? I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, don't be afraid to be weird. Go out, do no evil, whatever the thing is that those people say. And I will talk to you guys next time. And until then, be careless.